This week, something from Mercedes Benz again. It's the EQE SUV. What can I tell you about the EQE SUV? It's on the same platform as the EQE sedan and the EQS and the upcoming EQS SUV. It has 180 kilowatts and 550 Newton meters of torque. Doesn't have any gears, of course, because it is electric. It's got an 89 kilowatt hour battery and comes in at around $135,000 and some change. You've got to add on-roads onto that, of course, and a couple of options should that be your thing. We've got 21-inch AMG wheels and some side steps. It's all geared to give it a slightly sportier look, and you can see that it does have a sloping back a la coupe SUV style, but it's somewhere in between. If the handles do go in while you're trying to get into the car and everything's in the car, just press this and the handles will come out. My keys, sadly, are in the car. There's plenty of room in the back because this is a very, very, very spacious rear. There's this much room between my knee and the seat in front, plenty of room underneath for my feet, a couple of vents here in the rear, and once you open the little door, a couple of USB charging points. And of course, a Burmeister speaker or four. The front seat is a different kettle of fish altogether. By God, this is nice. The door is, for usual for Mercedes-Benz, has the seat controls and the seat memory, the unlock, and the window controls and mirror controls. And there's another Burmeister speaker. This audio system is absolutely brilliant. You can see I've opened the sunroof and there's a slide and push sort of button arrangement. I'm not fussed on this. It is a little bit hard to work. And like the ones on the steering wheel, can be difficult. These are touch sensitive buttons as well as press. They all have a meaning, and it's not necessarily obvious what that meaning is. The gears are on the stalk, park is a button on the end, and this is a very hard-working stalk. It's got flashes and windscreen washers and lights and God knows what on it. The main light control is down below. There's a nice wide screen driver display, a 14 or so inch tablet. I'm not sure if you can see it, but just here is the head-up display. And it projects up onto the windscreen out of this enormous hole in the dash. Then we get to the MBUX system, where nothing is supposed to be more than a couple of presses away. Once you get this, it's easy to use, but it does take a while to actually come to terms with the fact that it's not like a normal infotainment system. There's a climate menu, car menu, shortcuts, climate along the bottom, and then under that, things like the drive modes with economy, comfort, sport, and intelligent. I can't tell you how odd it sounds to have acceleration noises in an SUV that has a battery under the floor. It's completely unnecessary, but look, it does make people feel a little bit less intimidated by the fact that an electric car makes absolutely no noise. I want to talk a little about the handling, which is absolutely sensational. It really is brilliant. There's no doubting that the old girl weighs a lot. She does, that's all there is to it. You'll also notice how quiet this is. I feel like I don't have to slow down for corners, but I'd probably regret it if I didn't. I'll pick you up on the highway. All right, we'll just bring it up to speed. Nice and gently. indicate change lanes. Let's get away from behind the ute, doing under the speed limit. I'm in the middle lane and I'm just going to press set. Now that I've pressed set, and by the way, you've got the option for speed limit as well as cruise control, the car is steering itself, keeping a set distance from the front, and this is a pretty easy drive. The navigation will also tell you if your destination is within the range of the battery and what battery will be left when you get there. The only thing I've been having trouble with are these buttons, especially the ones to fast forward tracks. I have one particular playlist that I use for all of the tests, and that's how I know what speakers, when they're set at 0, sound like compared to other cars. Right. When you try and use this button, which is a multi-purpose button, it's just home, arrow, return, OK, etc. And the other one's exactly the same, but in reverse. You can't move your finger outside the very small centimetre square, or it doesn't work. So you've got to do very little movements. And I'm not quite sure when you're trying to concentrate on driving whether doing very little movements as opposed to just pressing one single button is better or worse. Now, because this is an EV, obviously it doesn't have RPMs because they're irrelevant. So it's got the amount of power in use, and at the moment I'm using 0 because I'm cruising down a hill. You can't tell it in the video, but I'm cruising down a hill. Doesn't that look super? Everything kind of backlit from behind. I love this cabin. I think the ambient lighting themes are fabulous. Let's get a few myths out of the way about EV batteries too. Of course, they can be charged at any fast charger. And now there are lifetime warranties from some manufacturers for their entire electric system in their EV. Not only that, EV cells can be reused after the life of the car, and at the end of that they can be recycled completely. The real question is, can we afford not to change to EVs? That's a question buyers are answering in droves. EV numbers have absolutely boomed. There were 75 models this time last year. There's over 150 now, and new EVs coming out all the time. Keep an eye out for upcoming EVs, including the Chinese ones. We're now back in town. I'm going to change the recuperative braking to strong. Gives me one pedal driving right down to the last few meters where you have to put your foot on the brake to stop. And of course, this is a Mercedes, so once you do stop, an extra push, I'll demonstrate now. Okay, stopping, put my foot on the brake, and if I give it just a firm push, it's turned the brake hold on. So there's no separate button, it's always active in a Mercedes Benz. Normally I like to find something to complain about, something to have a good old whinge about. But I love everything about this. I love the leather seating and the beautiful contrasting stitching. The craftsmanship is absolutely first class. It is expensive, $135,000 plus on roads, plus a whole bunch of options. But if you want quality, then you have to be prepared to spend. And as someone famous once said, if you have to ask the price, you probably can't afford it. That's all this week from the Mercedes EQE SUV. It's comfortable to drive, it's comfortable in town, it's comfortable on the highway. It is incredibly precise, like most things made in Germany. I like this car. I didn't expect to, but I do. As always, hit like, leave a comment, and just over there, to subscribe to GayCarBoys.